Hello, Internet, and welcome back to Survivors Complex again. We are excited to be back after a 2-week hiatus. I know we're sort of seeing some Twitch issues on our end. We're seeing that it might not be loading for everyone. I'm giving it a second to see if we get any activity in the chat, if the mods see anything, so we can go with it. We're going to try. I don't think it's on our end, and I think it's on the Twitch servers. But we're just gonna have to power through. Do we have any activity, guys? You seeing anything?
I just asked if anyone was there.
Okay. If not, I mean, this is going to be recorded, and if you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching, and we will just, I guess, move forward with this, and hopefully it resolves itself. But for now, we'll just keep going. But thank you for everyone for tuning in, whether on YouTube or Twitch. I don't think I have any announcements that anything coming up this week per se. I don't know if Spanna, if you know of anything. Is Valandor on Monday, or was that last Monday? I've been out of town for a week, or 2 weeks, so I'm very out of it. But yeah, so Valandor should be tomorrow. And so tune in for that. Monday. Oh God, it's Saturday, isn't it? Oh man, I had a long flight yesterday. Otherwise, just so you guys know, Rachel will still, our lovely barbarian, will still not be here today. She's still getting kind of adjusted to her recent move. So all our thoughts are with you, and hopefully we can get you back here as soon as possible. Also in news, Dylan, our gunsmith here, has recently had some surgery and is going to have a little bit of difficulty talking. Hopefully we should be okay, and he should be able to stick with us for the game. But if at any point it starts to get difficult, we've told him he's going to just send some messages in the chat, and we're just going to sort of interpret and read that for you guys. So just bear with us on that, and thank you for your patience there. Otherwise, I don't really have any announcements. I just want to get into the game. I assume all you guys do too. So we will just jump on back in. So last time on Survivors Complex, the group had recently sort of found their way back to 1,000 Steps, had continued their investigation, trying to decipher what exactly was happening within the continent of Graldar, what the Tabaxi might be up to, and trying to solve some mysteries that they had picked up along the way. You all had recovered the singing stones from the archives within the central ziggurat of the city of 10,000 Steps, and had interpreted them and deciphered this elven language to discover that there's some sort of alliance or some sort of connection between the Tabaxi and the Fae, and these people, these elven people that were existing within the Twilight Realm and the Feywild. You were able to interpret those, get enough information to hopefully confront the council. However, at that time, it seemed that Star received a mysterious message through some means, this coin that he had picked up somewhere along the way that he did not remember at the time, and decided that it would be, or that this person was saying that they would be able to help in some way, that they had some sort of information on what the Tabaxi were up to within 1,000 Steps. You journeyed outside the city, following the instructions of this person, and found your way to a darkened cave where you met an elven woman who seemed to have some sort of knowledge, was cryptic, a little bit distant. The whole thing felt a little bit off, and you didn't realize until too late, as the cavern crashed down around you, separating Lucius and Barb from the rest of the group, that this person was in fact the mother that you had heard about from the Oni and the ogres that you had fought previously. This person revealing themselves as Mother Madron, a disformed Annis hag, who, with the help of a hill giant, began to thrash the party. Many of you being gravely injured in the process. You, however, defeated Mother Madron and her son, only to find that in the carnage, many of you had sustained some serious injuries. Lil had been disfigured slightly from a blow that she took to the face, and Star had lost one of his hands. You were able to keep them alive and return to 10,000 steps. And from there, you took a few days to recuperate, at the end of which Sadel, through some tinkering on the side, had been able to craft a replacement hand for Star, this robotic sort of gauntlet, affixed with magic and technology to Star's arm, and restoring you to your previous form with a new mechanical, magical hand. At that point, you saw or heard from outside the ziggurat where you were staying the sounds of something approaching as you saw the Yvrandalian delegation finally arriving at the city. The children that you had saved from Mother Madron's care, the ones that you had actually been sent to collect months and months previously, seemed excited at the prospect of returning home and began to rush down the stairs of the ziggurat along with the rest of you to catch up with this delegation. As that is where we pick up today, as many of you are quickly rushing down the steps of this massive structure, down to where you see about a dozen or so horses gathered, the flags of Yvrandal being carried behind them, and you can see the gleaming armor of Commandant Fulcher as he sort of rides to this front, this powerful figure and this stature that sort of stands out among the rest. As you make your way down to the bottom of the steps, you see the crowd of Tabaxi beginning to gather around in awe of this, the arrival of this group, as they have shown up with a lot of pomp and circumstance. The commandant dismounts his horse with a heavy thud with the metal of his armor hitting the ground. You can see as you approach that his pristine golden armor has a bit of dinge to it. Looks as though it's been kind of scratched and maybe sort of dinged in areas, as though they might have encountered some trouble in the forests. The soldiers that are with him look haggard and weary from their travels. You can see in a drawn carriage the sort of huddled form of Bishop Elclair, kind of half dozed off as he rides in the back of it, as the carriage comes to a stop, all of them looking a bit beleaguered at this point. The Commandant turns to all of you, questioning at first, then recognizing. He waves his arm and speaks out. "Oh there! It's a pleasure to see you all here. What news?"
Well, we're glad to see you've made it. We aren't the first delegation that made it, but
I've received your message. I'm aware of this.
Oh yeah. Whoops. Well, it's good to see you. You look a little banged up. What's up?
Oh. He looks down at his armor and sort of kind of rubs at some of the scratches, and he says, "We've encountered some troubles along the way, as I'm sure all of you have as well. Large ape creature attacked us on our second week through the jungle. It was quite a harrowing fight, but we were able to thwart its onslaught." So.
We've been in this jungle for months, never seen one of these creatures, and they're in it for 2 weeks, and they've seen many of them. I'm fine. I'm
We
fine.
told you they were real.
I still do not believe it. Even though he says it and you say it, I don't believe it.
So, it's not worth going out and searching for them. These creatures are fearsome. I wouldn't recommend trying to seek one out. We lost a few men along the way, but anyway, where have you been able to isolate or fend off the Ondakir delegation?
Well, we've just tried to keep it friendly. We gave your request or your message to the Tabaxi heads of the Tabaxi people. But we didn't think it was prudent to start any kerfuffles.
You gave our terms to the council.
Yes.
And what was their response?
They were not best pleased. Ondolke had given them from their standpoint, a much better offer.
You can see his demeanor change, and he seems irritated by this news. He looks back to his men who have dismounted their horses and looks back towards all of you. We will speak to the council at once. Let us go. He begins to walk forward as you stop.
Wait a minute. I feel like maybe there's also some other stuff we need to talk about before you go in privately.
All right.
There's some stuff happening, and I think you need to be prepared.
He stops and turns towards you, Den. Speak.
I feel like out in the middle of the street.
There are like dozens of tabaxi gathered around.
Yeah, when I said private, I sort of meant it.
He looks towards the tabaxi, some of them sort of recoiling away at his, like, piercing stare right now in irritation and just wrath. He looks back towards you and says, "Fine. Lead the way."
Where should we go?
Should we go back to the bar that we had gone to with Alex earlier, or with Star earlier? That was kind of a quiet.
I'm sure there'll be rooms waiting for us when we get back to the ziggurats. I'm sure the elders will have prepared something for their new guests.
And they're, no offense, Commandant, but they're kind of conspicuous. Oh, right, children!
The children who have been kind of huddled behind you, seeing the large
Don't
golden
you have
armored
one
man.
on your back?
Yeah.
Yeah, and who's kind of been hanging off you.
Who was the little? Was that
peeks.
Yuri, the little one?
Yeah, the small boy.
Yeah.
He kind of peeks over your shoulder. Yes.
This is the delegation. Would you like to say hello?
And he looks up at the commandant, who, kind of towering above you, stares down at the small boy. Who's this?
This is Yuri, Sarah, Jacob, the children that went missing from the fort.
Oh, I remember reading a report about that. I suppose they should stay in our care. He looks back towards the soldiers and gives a nod towards them. Two of the soldiers come forward. Again, very weary and one of them kind of limping. One of the soldiers, kind of a younger man, pulls off his helm and looks at the little boy on his shoulders and says, "Would you like to come with me?" He holds out a hand to the boy, and Yuri sort of looks to you, Den.
It's okay. get you home. I promise. You know where our rooms are, though, if you need us.
Yeah.
Okay. He climbs off Denton's armor and walks around. You see the other two girls help him and got him over to the soldier, who takes two of them by the hand, and the other one takes the other one. They seem to sort of gently sort of lead them away from the conversations that's happening right now. Begin kind of talking with them and trying to comfort the kids. The commandant looks back towards you and says, "That's taken care of. Where to now?"
Star, you wanna go to the lovely tavern you've taken us to?
A tavern seems hardly befitting of our delegation's status and standing.
I was about to say we should head straight to the ziggurat. I'm sure that the elders have prepared rooms for them after their travels.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
All right, lead on.
And I will head and lead them towards the ziggurat.
Star, as you...
I do say bye to the kids.
Okay. They're coming with you, because...
Even better!
They're with the soldiers right now. They're kind of being led behind with the rest of the group. You see a couple of the soldiers that are currently helping also Bishop Eau-Claire up the steps, of which you guys have to go up about 100 of to get up to the next terrace. As you make your way inside, Bishop Eau-Claire is sort of face red, huffing as he makes it to the top. Commandant Fulcher keeping in stride behind all of you. Star, you lead them kind of towards the area where you guys have been staying. You see a robed tabaxi, not one of the council elders, but you've seen around the council chambers a number of these tabaxi like this as well. Sees you entering and kind of rushes up and says, "Oh, is this the delegation?"
Yes, they've arrived.
Oh, should I inform the council then?
That would probably be for the best. Is there an antechamber, a room I can show them to for now?
Of course. I will have the chambers prepared for... And he looks around, kind of scrambling, and whistles over to a few of the tabaxi, also in robes, who rush over. He says, "Escort the delegation to their chambers. I'm going to inform the Elder Council currently." And the two give a nod, and the man that you're speaking to goes rushing off. The female tabaxi, who you just instructed, says, "Oh, follow me, please," and begins to lead the rest of you, this now larger group, heading down into the chambers in the direction that you guys had been previously heading. You're kind of pointed to a few different rooms. The tabaxi pulls out a set of keys and begins to unlock some of the doors to some of the other chambers, and light some of the lanterns within to give some ambience. You guys find some comfort. The kids are escorted into a room with some of the soldiers, some of the nobles that are with the delegation, kind of lugging their things into some of the other rooms. Everybody kind of gets situated as the commandant follows your group into a private chamber where you guys can speak.
As we're going in there, I pull somebody aside. I guess Lucius probably. And just like try to like whisper to him kind of very slyly, should we get the prince?
It would probably be a good idea. I know they're going to want to talk to him anyway, but after the few weeks that we've spent with him, he should probably know, at least, that they're here, and if he wants to show up how he usually does, at least he's here. Can you,
on that thought, have we actually seen just quickly, Sean, have we actually seen the prince since after he left to find wherever the UNT went?
Nope.
He's dead.
Definitely. I'll try a sending spell and and try to contact Prince, whatever his name is.
Zinstor
Zvornin.
Trying to draw a total blank. I will try to contact Prince Zinstor and tell him that the Randall delegation is here, that we're going to give them a vague idea of what's going on, and that if he's in the city, this is where we are.
Okay. You send the message as the doors of the room close, and you guys begin to kind of settle down for this conversation. As you whisper the message, you wait a second, and there's a response, sort of a little bit hesitant, and you almost sense a bit of nervousness in his voice. He says, I'll be there right away. So the Commandant actually sits down on one of the chairs with a heavy kind of crash of metal, and you hear the chair kind of straining underneath him, leans back with an audible sigh of exhaustion, and he says, all right. So, what is this that you couldn't speak to me openly about?
Well, we do have one other person that's going to be joining us any moment now. Hopefully.
Who's going to be, and as he says this, there's kind of an explosion of arcane energy. He immediately leaps up from his chair, and you see in his white robes kind of appear in the middle of this room, Prince Zinstor Zolvernik, who kind of peers around a bit, and immediately, after scanning around all of you, locks eyes with the Commandant, who, standing up from his chair, immediately draws his sword, looking over towards the prince, gives out a yell and begins to rush towards him with his sword drawn. Does anybody?
I go in between them immediately.
Yeah,
I jump in between them.
Okay, you guys kind of, as a wall crash between them. He runs straight into you, Den, kind of being the largest figure there, kind of crashes into you and recoils with the sword still drawn, growling kind of deep in his gut, and says, what's going on?
Something that is much bigger than whatever issues you've got with the prince.
Why is this demon-blooded scum here?
First of all, uncalled for. Alright.
You can see the prince kind of backing up a bit with a look of fright on his face, the color kind of washed away from him. You can see a bit of kind of fire on the edges of his fingers as a spell he was about to prepare, he lets go of it, seeing what's happening. And as he backs away, the Commandant still kind of aggressively trying to push past you, but you holding him off.
Fight me, bro.
He steps back as well. He says, what's happening?
Something is going on in this city, and it's bigger than your issues, and slight racism, to be honest.
I sincerely doubt that.
Well, if you'd sit down for a minute and let us talk like people, you'll see.
He looks past you towards the tiefling in the corner of the room, and gives him a questioning look, and he yells out across the room, your name, what is it? To which the prince, sort of again looking around frantically, says, Zinstor Zolvernik, Prince, if you would. At which point the Commandant looks down towards all of you with, again, this look of bewilderment and again, this sort of wrathful demeanor that he's had this entire time. He says, "A prince. You've allied yourself with a prince of Ondok here."
Commandant!
Without saying a word, Lucius just looks at him, looks at the prince, looks at him again, and just goes, "Really? Like, not that we are friendly by all means, but you knew me coming in here would... I don't understand the hostility. Like, you came here to figure out what is going on. We are trying to tell you what's going on. Me, you know who I am. You know what I've been through. If I did not trust him, at least in a small, tiny amount, I would have tried to kill him the first time I saw him. So, I just need everyone in this room, especially you, Commandant, to calm down before something bad happens and let us explain what is going on. If you can't do that, then we don't need you here. We can figure it out our damn selves."
Commandant, we have done everything you have asked us to, in good measure, with honesty, and we're asking you to just trust us. You wouldn't have entrusted us with bringing your decree to this city if you didn't have some trust in us, and we're asking you, I think we deserve it, to give us a little bit more.
If anything, 5 minutes would do.
Lucius, I'd like you to make a persuasion check. I'll give you advantage because you're being assisted by Lil.
$16?
The Commandant steps back, keeps his eyes on the prince, and kind of paces across the room towards the door, not looking away from Prince Overnick the entire time. He stops, turns back, sheathes his sword. 3 minutes. Speak. And he just continues to glare at the prince across the room.
So, to cut a long story short, there's a plot involved with the elders, a pact with some sort of maybe otherworldly creatures, we're not too sure yet, children getting kidnapped, and a lot of other things.
The council knows about it. They're in on it.
They've been on it for decades.
We have proof that something terrible is happening in this city. And Prince Zinstor is the one that helped us get it.
How far away is the prince from the Commandant? Like 10 feet or so?
They're pretty much at opposite corners of the room, so probably about 30 feet.
Okay. He walks back over to him and kind of, leans in. And he's just like, is it okay if I tell him that you're perfectly fine with leaving after all of this is done? It may help him, calm down even more. That show of good faith and everything.
The prince keeps his eyes on the Commandant, kind of continuing that eye contact. Leans over towards you. If you think it will help. This man seems like he's intent on killing me.
Yeah, I've noticed that. I mean, I was intent on killing you as well, but look where that went.
Well, you should probably say something before he does.
Yeah, I'll do my best. And he kind of, again, leans up and goes, he helped us. He's been helping us for 2 weeks. After all of this, the only thing that he told us, that he brought this to our attention, we have researched it for 2 weeks, maybe more, figured out what is going on, and he is perfectly fine with leaving, not wanting Graudar for anything of his father's, anything of his. If that is what it takes, they're perfectly okay with it. They told us that, and after speaking to him, again, my sworn enemy for most of my life, I do tend to believe him. At least on this thing. He's still him. But it's one thing of his that I don't not trust. I do trust what he is saying.
And like I said, even if you don't trust him,
you can trust us.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter because we've got proof of what's going on here. And it's bad. And it's way bigger than whatever you're concerned about. And we're gonna fix it. We wanted you to know what you were getting into making an alliance with this city.
The captain, or the commandant, looks around the room, kind of looking for the first time, looking away from the prince and looking over all of you, one by one. His promises are like sand. They mean nothing. They carry no weight. The fact that you have been duped into believing his words show me that I was greatly misguided by sending you on this mission.
No offense,
what
Commandant.
What proof do you have of the claims that you make?
Alright. No offense, Commandant, but I'm pretty sure lots of people could say the same thing about you.
Do you forsake your alliance with Yvrandal and the northern nations on the word of this prince?
No, we come to you knowing, or thinking anyway, that you're supposed to be good people that are working for the betterment of this world. And if you can't sit down and listen to somebody for 2 minutes just because they've got horns and look a little different from you, then piss off.
We'll figure it out ourselves. I've been fighting against him all of my life. You really think that a week with him would blind me to everything that I've seen? I've been on the front lines. I've seen what my people have done to your people. And you think that I would go with him if I didn't believe anything he was saying?
We came to you in good faith to tell you up front what was going on, and we have proof. But if you don't want to hear it, that's your business, not mine. And I'm not going to put my friends through all of your shit.
Den, make a persuasion check now.
Six.
The commandant grits his teeth. You almost hear it from across the room. He, fuming, his face turning shades of red, kind of shakes his head, says once again, I do not care two shits about the troubles of this country, of this kingdom. They are not the reason why we are here. We are here to keep we are here to prevent Ondakir's alliance. You were sent here with a mission to deliver our terms, not to meddle
by
yourselves.
Your terms, it sounds like you were planning on taking over the country yourselves.
Yeah, listen, Commandant.
I don't know.
Sorry. Alright, listen up, Commandant. Your terms were shit compared to Ondakir's. The Tabaxi Council thought so. What we're doing is helping people with the understanding that at the end we'll fix all this and you'll get your alliance and you'll come out on top and Ondakir will leave and everybody will be happy. But if your pride and your shiny armor and your sword and all of that is worth more to you than what we're sitting here trying to say right now, then you can leave and we'll talk to the bishop and your captains and the rest of the reasonable people here. We have proof that bad things are happening here. If you want to ally yourself with people that are doing bad shit, that's fine. That's no skin off my nose. But we're gonna do something about it. And in the process, we're gonna get you your alliance. And we're gonna help people.
One way or the other, you win. It just so happens that you win not by the bloodshed that you seem to want, which, if is true, and he looks over to the prince, no offense for this next comment, but you're no better than him. And if you're no better than him, then I definitely don't need to be anywhere around you. Because I came to you, shut up, you don't get to talk right now. I came to you, my people came to you, all the people that are fighting against him came to you in your country because we thought you were better, but now I see different. Now, I may not be anything huge in Oasis, but I've seen things more than you have. I've been around him. I've been around me. I've been around everyone. I've been on the front lines. We need help because there's a lot of people in Ondakir that don't like what's going on, just like you don't like what's going on. So put all of that aside. Put all of your hatred aside. Because for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, we can show you that you win. If, for whatever reason, you want the bloodshed to continue, well, you know what? I'm pretty sure his father would be perfectly okay with it. But as I said, if that's what you want, then you are no better than him. And at that point, I don't see why this negotiation should continue.
I want to pull out some of the speaking stones from the bag of holding. It's your decision. If you want to hear the proof, put all this aside, but if not, we'll go on our way.
He looks towards you, Sato. I'll have Lucius. It's going to give you disadvantage on this, but with the, I'll say a normal, just a regular charisma check, or not charisma, persuasion check from Lucius.
So just a charisma check, basically.
Yeah, basically.
Sorry. He's not charismatic.
Guys, I'm pretty sure we keep failing these persuasion checks.
He looks around. There are larger things at play here than any of you understand. The fate of this world is in the balance, and it is not safe, it is not protected until Ondakir is crushed into the sand and stone upon which they have built their bloody armies. So, as of now, he reaches behind him, pulls out a pouch from the side. You hear the jingling of coins, throws it down on the ground. You see a couple dozen gold pieces scatter across the floor. We're done. You're lucky
lost.
I don't brand you all as traitors at this point. But I'm hoping
never from your country in the first place, but you know,
that you understand the ramifications of your actions in due time. And as far as you, and he looks across the room towards the prince, you're lucky you have them here to protect you. I would have separated your head from your shoulders at a moment's notice.
Sorry, just, I think you mean you're lucky we're here to protect you. And I put the stones back in the bag.
Commandant. No. that without the information we were going to give you, you're dooming your people on this land to losing children and possibly more. So you say that you don't care about what we have to say, but this decision is yours alone, and your people will know about it.
Is the bishop in here?
The bishop is not. But Lil, go ahead and make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Oh, yay. Here we go. Okay, come on. Come on, computer. Respond to what I have. Here we go. That would be a 19.
He looks towards you, Lil. It matters not. He looks back towards Sadell, reaches out a hand and says, "Your proof. We will review it on our own."
You gave up that right when you refused to talk to us. You're done. Get out. You'll find it later. As I said, you don't get to talk right now. Get out.
He steps back towards the door. That was the last olive branch I was willing to extend. We're done. And
you already
he
broke
leaves the room.
Slams the door.
Can I
Well, that went well.
Can I step out and see if I can find Bishop Eclair?
Elclair, not Eclair.
Elclair. I have
It's
it
not
written
pastry.
down. Bishop Pastry?
He is
Or a
the
city in Wisconsin.
He is
You-
the sweetest
Bishop
pastry.
Elclair, excuse
You
me.
wait a second as you hear the commandant charging down the hall. You hear a few of the soldiers kind of calling out to him, and a few very loud barks in their direction from the commandant as he just bulldozes down the hall. As you leave the room, you walk across the hall and knock on the door where the bishop was staying. You hear some rustling from within, and one of the soldiers opens the door, looks out, says, "Can I help you?"
I'm looking for the bishop.
"Oh, he's resting, but I'm sure he'll speak with you. Come in."
Does she go alone?
I just walked off.
Like she just walked? Oh no,
Yeah.
Lucius walks with her. No, there's no way. No.
Okay.
I'm staying with the prince, just so you know.
Okay, in the room. Lucius and Den, you guys make your way across the hall, and you see the bishop sort of laying out on one of the sort of, I'm trying to think of the word, but the couch, essentially, because I can't
A
think of the word.
chaise
that-
lounge.
Like a lounge or
chaise
something. Yeah, it's kind of what I was looking for.
Is he eating eclairs?
No, he's not. But he's laying there, and he has what looks to be like a piece, like a towel or cloth that's been soaked and kind of resting on his head, clearly kind of exhausted from the heat. He sits up a bit, groaning as he does, and pulls it off his head and says, "Oh, yes, how can I help assist any of you? I heard shouting. Is everything all right?"
Well, the commandant is not pleased with us currently.
It didn't sound to be such. He is a temperamental man.
Yeah, that's an understatement. Bishop, I'm sorry to bother you. I know you're resting. I wonder, you're a smart man, right? Know a lot of things.
I wouldn't say so. I've experienced a lot in this life, and that gives me some amount of perspective. An intelligent man I am not. I have the wisdom to know such.
I wonder, Do you speak Elven?
It is one of the languages that I am moderately proficient in.
We found some bad things in this place, and you're a man of the faith, and the Commandant won't listen to us. But we need you all to know what's going on before deals are made and things are happening. We have proof that bad things are happening, and I wonder if you're not too tired, if you might take some time to listen to it with us.
All right. I can do this.
We'll come to you. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I go back. Come on, Lucius.
So are you bringing the crystals back to him?
I'll go back, I guess, in the room where everyone else is and just tell them that the bishop will speak with us. He's much, and I just kind of look at Prince and Store, he's much nicer than that guy.
He's a lot calmer.
Yeah, he's old and stuff.
He never called me furball on the ship here.
Yeah, he's never said anything racist to any of us who aren't from Yvrandal, so that's a plus.
The prince gives kind of a half smile and nods. It is good to hear that there are some who are reasonable here, but I hoped that it'll be enough. That man, I assume that he was an official of the Stalwart Keepers by his, obvious demeanor towards me. He holds the authority, I would assume, so...
Well, for now.
Perhaps I should stay here. The last thing I need to do is rile up any of the soldiers or anyone else with my presence.
By the way, did you manage to find your companion while you were away?
Unfortunately not. They have returned. I know not what their purpose was within the jungle, but the Yuan-Ti have means of evading my magical prowess, and whatever they did, it is unknown to me, which is frustrating to say the least.
Leans in close to Star. They're looking for those gorillas. I know it.
Well, I'm really sorry that you sort of popped in here just to be like screamed at and stuff.
Yeah, we probably should have warned you that the delegation was here.
I did. I
Did
told
you?
him. Yeah, I told him it was the delegation.
Yes, I had foolishly assumed that there might have been some amount of compromise and understanding. I came here as quickly as possible because I thought that I could be some assistance. I didn't know that I would ruin things so utterly, but...
I don't think it was just you. Honestly, I think the Commandant's probably just looking for somebody to yell at. So...
He just doesn't seem as open as when he was at the fort. He seems much more closed off, unwilling to... I don't know, maybe it's a front, but he just... Something seems off.
Well, it's
Maybe that's just me.
You know, I look at the prince again. It's his problem, not yours, so...
Well, who knows what the chain of command might have planned for this place. I know little of the ways of Yvrandal and the Keepers, but from what I've heard, they have their ruthless tendencies.
To be fair, most of us aren't even from Yvrandal, so...
For that you are lucky, I suppose.
I mean, they might be lucky. I'm a little different.
I'll wait here, though, while you have your conversation.
Might be a while.
That's fine.
Right.
Are you doing okay before we go? I know all of that must have been any kind of points at the hand. I see that you were about to level this place.
I'm fine. I suppose that our agreement is at its end, and that I should be withdrawing with the rest of my compatriots, but it does concern me seeing the state of things here. I do not know if I apologize. I do not know if I trust the stalwart, the commandant's intentions.
This may be a burden on you, but I think we need to keep the commandant preoccupied for a little while. If we just give him an open chance to talk to the council, who knows what he could do or manage to get out of them. If you're here and providing counter arguments, if he acts up within the council chambers, he'll be expelled from the city immediately.
Well, I can. What do you have in mind? I can be present for the negotiations if that's what you're asking. I do not wish to welch on our agreement.
Well, can you, I don't know, stall them? Make I have to go back and talk to my people about whether this agreement is good. We will come back and reconvene, or some, I don't know, just some stall tactics while we try and...
No, we need the commandant angry while he's in the room. If he's angry, he won't think straight, right? If we're all present for the negotiations, or some of us are and some of us aren't, those who aren't present could look around. Those who are can see the way the room's swinging.
Well, are we gonna be allowed in now? Because he kind of disemployed us.
Well, you can accompany me as my advisors. I don't know how that would help for your standing with your own people.
You are my own people.
My people don't care.
My people live in the city. I am at an advantage here as my arrangement with the stalwart keepers is done.
So,
if you were to hire me as an extra advisor, they couldn't make a complaint against it.
I'll see what I can do. I'll speak with the council, arrange our negotiations and our talks, and do what I can to stall those tactics and those discussions until you're ready.
I'm pretty sure the council trusts you more than they trust them anyway.
We shall see. So, it's a plan then. You do what you need to right now, speak to who you need to, try to get them on your side, and I'll do what I can.
Alright. I pick up the money off the floor.
Okay. There's about 500 gold pieces. It's the rest of your payment for the...
Excellent. Should we just put it in the bag and split it up later?
Yeah.
I think that's better.
It's cursed. It's gonna kill us.
It explodes.
I just didn't like. I wanted it because we earned that money like 2 or 3 times over, but I didn't want to pick it up while he was in the room.
And didn't you guys spend the rest of the money on the new hand?
No, we spent some. Oh well, we spent gems on that.
Yeah, which was your original payment. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So
we needed it.
So
it came in rather handy.
The prince heads out to puns. The prince heads out towards the council chambers to begin stalling there. The rest of you head across the hall to the bishop to share with him the information that you have. Okay, you make your way into the room. The bishop, kind of sitting up now, has a little more of his presentation and looks up as you enter and says, "Oh, come in. How can I help? What do you have for me to help you or assist you with?"
I pull out some of the stones.
Okay.
In the effort of full disclosure, according to the commandant, our business is done, or our arrangement is done, but You're a reasonable man, Bishop, and we think you need to be working with all the information that exists. So, it's a goodwill effort, just so you know.
Well, if his problems are with you, then we mustn't tell the Commandant, must we?
I knew I liked you.
We'll speak, and you give me the information that you have, and I'll see what I can do with the authority that I have vested from the church here. There's limited I can do or say to sway the Commandant's mind. I'm here more as a symbol than anything. The Keepers hold the power, and they hold the voice of the faith here.
But they trust you.
And the people trust you, which is a lot.
All right. Well, he was here. I'm an old man. I don't have much time.
Just quickly, could I quickly do a perception check, see if we're being listened to or anything?
Sure.
Or, see what the guards are doing outside the room.
I mean, there are some guards in the room still.
Oh, well, yeah. That is a 15.
Okay. There are two guards near the door. They're just standing post. They don't seem to be kind of too focused on what you're doing right now. They're just there because they've been told to be there.
Yeah.
Do you give him the crystals?
Yep.
Okay. So you guys are going to be spending the next few hours as he's going through the crystals and listening to them one by one.
We'll just tell him, if he gets tired or if he decides he doesn't want to listen to them all, that we've already listened to them. We do have notes and everything on what they say, so
It helps too. I mean, he can look over the notes and kind of get a general gist of what the crystals are saying to save some time. So with that, and probably only an hour to kind of get the idea of what's happening, and actually listens to little bits of a couple and then takes the last one, the one that has that sort of different message from the others, listens to that one all the way through. Reads the notes, kind of pulling up his spectacles and very closely peering at the parchment. He puts it away, and as it finishes, and the rest of you kind of stretching from just having to sit there for a long time, and he looks up and he says, "This is curious, very curious. I don't have much knowledge on these things, these arcane histories. This seems as something that could pose a danger to the inhabitants here. I can tell you, though, I don't think it'll dissuade the Commandant from his line of thought."
Well, I mean, if the Commandant doesn't have ethical problems with, kids being kidnapped and people doing things against their will and things like that, that's not really something that I'm prepared to deal with, but...
I understand. He is a harsh man, I can tell you that. Spending the last few weeks trekking through the jungle and across the oceans have solidified that for me, but his orders here come from high up, the Marshal General of the Stalwart Keepers. It was he that sent Commandant Fulcher on this mission, and, Fulcher is an ambitious man. He doesn't seek to see the job he was given go unfulfilled. If that means ignoring the plights and the inner struggles of this country, then so be it in his eyes.
The thing is, Bishop, though, I mean, we've talked to, the prince from Ondakir and, spent time with him, and he's helped us do all this stuff, and we told the Commandant this, but the agreement was that if we fix this problem, they'll leave. Fulcher gets what he wants, and
He won't believe it. I can tell you that. Only with Yvrandalian forces stationed among the city, here to maintain the peace. That is the only way he will believe that Ondakir does not have its sway here, and that they are not marshalling their forces within the city walls to launch an invasion against Yvrandal itself. And so I can tell you...
So to stop an occupation, he is going to occupy it anyway. It seems to me that the Commandant his orders are not what he's saying they are. Or at least not fully.
I can't speak on that. I have no knowledge of... I know that there was a meeting among the marshals and the Marshal General within the past year, and that their tactics have changed since then, but as aggressive and as ambitious as you believe Commandant Fulcher and I believe him to be, Marshal General Alonson is by far the most ruthless when it comes to this war. His word is law.
Sounds oddly familiar.
Well,
they just don't see it.
Bishop, thank you for talking to us.
If it helps from the advice of an old man, you've done a good job here. One thing I've learned in my years is that the people with the most similarities typically hate each other the most. And that, I believe to be the heart of this conflict, but the Keepers will do whatever possible to end this war, as I believe Ondakir will. It won't stop, with either of them still having the capability to fight. You all seem like good people. You should get yourself away from this. You've done your good job here. You've returned the children to safe hands, and I'll make sure they return to their parents.
Bishop, not that you won't, but please do what you can to keep your people safe. I worry that if the Commandant makes a negotiation to protect the city, that may come with costs. That not only the children of the Tabaxi being taken, but it may extend to the children of Yvrandal. And I don't think any of us, and you included, want that.
And fighting an enemy like the prince and his father, as you said, makes them more ruthless. As time goes by and as the war goes by, both sides will do what is necessary to win, no matter what. I hope you stay safe as well, old man.
I will. I've made it this long.
Good. You need to make it longer. We need more people like you.
At that point, there's a knock at the door. And the door opens, and you see a man in beautiful sort of purple sort of regalia, a very noble-looking man wearing like satin doublet and breeches, comes in, hair perfectly coiffed. You saw this man before; didn't look as good. Looks like he's tidied up in his room. And the Duke looks up and says, or the bishop looks up and says, "Oh, Duke Varleth. It's good to see you're looking so well." The Duke walks in and says, "Yes, Bishop, I came here to tell you that the meeting is about to begin, and the Commandant has requested your presence." The Bishop says, "Oh, all right. I suppose it's finally time. Will you be attending this council meeting?" "Good. Come with me, then." And he begins kind of strains to stand up.
I help him up.
Okay, help him up. He picks up his staff and kind of pulls himself out of the room. So you all follow behind.
May the sword of the war goddess protect us all.
And Lils goes,
Bishop, may the blessing of the Six keep you and us safe.
He smiles and says, and so they will, the rest of you. Well, let's go. I'm beginning to grow weary. Hopefully this doesn't take too long. If I know the Commandant, he's a man of few words. This won't last much longer than it needs to. And he begins slowly making his way down the hallway with the rest of you in tow and a few guards as well. As you make your way through the large stone doors of the council chamber, the tabaxi guards there pushing them open and closing them behind you, you immediately, as the doors open, hear the furious yelling and shouting of the Commandant as the just crimson-faced stands at the the bottom of the well of the council chambers. The council kind of gathered there to remaining about 15 paces away from him, and Prince Zinstor Zolvernik standing with his arm crossed about 10 paces away as well, looking towards the council but keeping his eye sideways towards the Commandant as well. As you all enter, he stops and looks back towards the bishop and all of you. You see him grit his teeth. He says, and the source of the problem.
Before we enter, roll it back a little bit. Before we enter, can I cast Detect Thoughts on myself before we walk in so I can get a lay of the room?
Sure. The saving throws on that. Is it when you read their thoughts initially, what is the saving throw?
You're muted.
Oh no. Okay, let's see. You initially learn the source.
I think it's a contested intelligence check.
Oh, okay. It says, let's see, initiative.
Kyle,
you're muted.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, actually, from looks like
so
you
it's
just read their thoughts.
Initially, it is the surface thoughts. If I use an action, I can dig deeper, and then that's when the wisdom saving throw comes in.
Okay, that's right.
And I have to continuously move around to people so they don't notice that I'm reading their thoughts.
Okay. You make your way in, and the Commandant looks back towards the council and says, will you accept these terms or not? The council members kind of whisper amongst themselves, many of them who you recognize from your previous conversation here, or your previous meeting with them here. The leader of the council, who you know the name, Emerald, of the Swaying Tree clan, says, we thank you for your presence here, Commandant Fulcher, but we have discussed your terms amongst ourselves, and they seem rather harsh. We do not wish to be as closely aligned. We wish to maintain our sense of freedom here, and while opening up trade agreements between both you and Ondak here sound favorable to us, we do not need the protection of Yvrandal or this alliance you speak of. And the Commandant yells back at him and says, do you not understand the threat that Ondak here poses on all of you? If you open up your doors to them, the serpent will enter, and it will strangle the life from your city. At which point, you see standing behind Prince Zolvernik, Ambassador Threskish, the UNT ambassador, sort of smirks and says, that was a rather clever turn of phrase for such a stupid man. At which point the Commandant kind of aggressively moves towards him, or towards her, and the the council immediately shifts, and Emerald steps forward and says, "There will be no..." Oh, sorry, getting my voices mixed up. "There will be no violence here. We are here to have peaceful negotiations, nothing more. If you wish to fight your war, you fight it outside of our city and outside the cradle. Are we agreed?" The commandant steps back, just gives a grunt. Prince Zinstor steps forward and says to the council chambers, it says, "I can tell that there is a lot of tension here. I know that our nations are not, well, that we are at war, and that compromises are hard to come by. But I have come to offer nothing more than what I have put before this council. That I offered trade between the UNT and your nation. The UNT will provide whatever you have deemed that you wish. We have access to, I know that they have access to gems, to rarities within the deserts that are not found within your continent. And in exchange, they simply ask for some of crops or food stocks to feed their population, something that is difficult to come by within the deserts that they call home. That is all we ask here. However, if it causes too much trouble, and that is too much of a burden, Ondakir is willing to withdraw. We do not wish to cause strain amongst the Tabaxi and their neighbors to the north." The council sort of whispers amongst themselves, and Emerald looks up towards all of you as you make your way down, gives a nod, and the rest of the council kind of acknowledges.
What is, because I have to move it on an action, so let's say, like, pick the three people, the commandant, the prince, and Emerald's, like, surface thoughts as I... Because I'm trying not to be like OP with this spell of what's everyone thinking in 6 seconds.
No. In the little bits that you get when, because I assume you're doing it when they're not speaking, you can hear through Prince Intor's thoughts. He seems obviously nervous. You hear a lot of self-doubt from what's happening here. Not necessarily the terms that he's offering, but in that, oh my god, this guy's going to kill me. In the commandant's thoughts, it's just, well, nothing that I'm going to repeat in the company of good people. A lot of sort of racial slurs against the UNT, the Tabaxi, the Tieflings, just rage and distrust.
Probably the Triton now too.
And as you guys make your way forward and kind of walk past him, things levied towards all of you as well. Nothing useful, but definitely offensive. You then turn towards Emerald, and his thoughts are a little more calm. You hear there's a little bit of conflict, not really trusting the Yvrandalian delegation, and definitely from his surface thoughts, you're getting that he's swaying more towards Ondakir's offer. And he looks towards Zinstor at that moment and says, "Prince Zinstor, I promise you, we are interested in your terms. A trade with your nation sounds like it would be very beneficial to our people. I'm sorry, Commandant. We are willing to do trade with you as well. However, we cannot isolate ourselves in this way. We are just now making contact with your nations, and such a thing would be, well, it would not be beneficial to our continent here." The commandant just kind of stands there fuming, and looks back towards the bishop and looks towards all of you and says, "Well, have you nothing to say?"
think you've said enough.
The bishop steps forward and says towards the council. He says, "Your reverences of the council, I apologize for the tensions here. I am Bishop Auclair of the Church of the Six. I am here as an advisor to the commandant, and I apologize for any discomfort or bother that we have given you. We wish to have an alliance and to begin trade with you as well. Know that the tensions that exist here are ongoing and difficult to explain. If you could, we will speak privately and decide whether we can alter our terms in any way." The commandant kind of looks towards the bishop and growls a bit, and he looks like he's about to say something, but as that happens, there is a bit of noise that echoes from outside the council chamber, and you hear some yelling of the tabaxi, and the doors slide open with the as you see rushing in 3 individuals. Each one of them has black fur with red markings around come on their shoulders and up the sides of their necks and over their heads. Each one is very well armed, and one of them looks like they're heavily bandaged as well. The tabaxi come rushing in. The council mutters amongst themselves. One of them goes stepping forward, calling out to the remaining, a similar-looking tabaxi with the black markings, part of the council, and says, "What is the meaning of this? We are holding private council here." The tabaxi that come in say, "We apologize," and they go down to one knee, and one of them stands. "We have urgent news. They've breached the walls. They've taken the city." The council mutters amongst themselves, and the one steps forward and says, "What do you mean?" The tabaxi stands up and says, "The city of glass has fallen. Gorfrang and his blood tribe have made their way through the demon's breach. They have driven our forces back. We must muster our forces. There's not much time before they make their way here as well." The council kind of goes into a state of panic.
Can I get anything from all of this happening? Like who these people are? Like, other than, oh my god, we have to do something about it now?
I mean, from the surface thoughts, if you're reading the minds of the people that are speaking, I mean, you're getting like some sort of connection between the two. It's sort of obvious to look at. Okay. There's panic, there's worry. You hear a lot of thoughts about the gnolls and the fear of there seems to be a crucial point that they're talking about, the city of glass that they're referencing to, and this all in all from the surface thoughts you're getting, this is bad, this is really bad.
I'm guessing the group is kind of around us, right? Like all of us are still together?
Yeah, you guys are all still there.
Okay, he leans into Star and goes, "The gnolls apparently have breached the city."
That's what it sounded like.
And Star, you know, the ruins of the City of the Glass are one of the sort of tabaxi strongholds that exist at the sort of cusp of the territory between the tabaxi and the gnolls. Demon's Breach is one of those sort of chokeholds that divides the lands.
Are the elders still sort of just panicking and loudly talking, or does it look like people are aiming to do something?
As of this point, it's only been a few seconds at this point, so they're still sort of panicking and loudly muttering. It's sort of rabble.
I'm gonna step forward. I'm gonna be bold. I'm stepping forward so I am level with the prince and the commandant.
Okay.
And just I was saying, elders, if I may, I understand there's a lot of talk about the politics going on, but this needs to be dealt with first.
The Emerald steps forward again, the leader of the council, and says, "You speak through, brother. This should be dealt with. I'm sorry to both of you," and looks to the commandant and the prince and says, "We cannot continue these negotiations until this has been resolved." The prince steps forward and says, "I am willing to do whatever I can to help and assist in this matter. We do not have forces nearby to aid in any meaningful amount of time, but I will do what I can to help." The commandant looks over, looks back towards the council. "We have soldiers to provide, should you need them. But only if the council agrees to our terms."
I dig deeper. As soon as he says that, he focuses on him and tries to dig deeper. He's gonna know, but...
Okay, yeah, he's gonna make a wisdom saving throw. What's your DC?
Oh, it's like 14.
Okay. You get for the like the briefest moment this thought of, this is my chance. I can prove myself here. And then he forces you out. And he immediately you all see the commandant sort of, his head twitches, and he looks around the room and sees you looking at him, Lucius. He looks like he's about to strangle you, and then turns back towards the council and says, "Do you agree to these terms?"
I wouldn't. He's doing this for a reason. To probably raise his station. He cares nothing about you.
Given by the terms and how he's been acting towards us and me in particular, not just here, but also on our voyage, I would agree with my friend back there.
And in all honesty, I know this because I've just tried to read his mind, and from what I've got, that's why.
Everyone in the room sort of looks towards Lucius, and
I want to be honest.
You see the commandant his knuckles turning white as he's clenching his fist, not looking towards Lucius at this point, just staring at the council intently. Emerald looks back towards the others. They all have this sort of like exasperated and just hopeless look on their faces. And Emerald turns back towards you, Lucius, and says, "What can you do to help us then, if we do not accept aid from..."
Lil steps up and just goes,
"My warhammer is yours. I will defend this city."
Does she still have the gaping, like, huge frack-off scar?
Oh, it's pink and it's gross.
Yeah, no, it's intimidating. It's fearsome.
Wherever she goes, I go. And
helping to defend the city is one of my duties as one of our people.
The prince looks towards all of you, gives a nod and a smile, and looks back towards the council and says, "And I will stand by their side. I can vouch for them. They've done good work here." The commandant looks towards all of you, gritting his teeth, looks back towards the council and says, "You trust your fate in the hands of these few."
I mean, we've been here for 2 weeks, and we've already done more than you have in however many months you've been here. You can go.
You guys were afraid of little frogs.
The commandant looks around, looks back towards the council. The Emerald surveys all of you, locks eyes with the commandant, and says, "You have our answer then." You hear the gritting of teeth again, and Fulcher turns to gaze and says, "Fine. Perhaps the dogs will be more reasonable." He turns back and begins making his way up the stairs, the soldiers following behind him. The bishop looks towards all of you, gives this conflicted and exasperated look, and follows behind the commandant.
So who wants to bet the commandant gets eaten? I'm willing to put a wager on that.
Can I help him?
Go, gorillas, go! Don't hurt our bishop, but go, gorillas, go.
Is it a bet if we're all betting on the same thing? Are the messengers that came in, are they still in the room?
They are still in the room.
In the chaos somewhere. Can I just look sort of towards them and say...
Try to find them. Yeah.
How long do we have? How much time?
They look towards you as they're about to speak, and you see the other elder step forward, the one with the same markings and pattern, and he says, "If you truly wish to help, then we should take the city before they make their way here. By the time the war tribe makes its way to the outskirts of 10,000 steps, it is too late at that point."
Then allow us to take your direction. Tell us where you need us.
He gives a slight bow and says, "I am storm thundering towards the light, and I accept your alliance. We will leave come first dawn tomorrow." Agreed?
Agreed.
We'll be there.
Towards the east.
The city of broken glass. I can tell you about it later.
All right.
We'll speak more on the terms. I will receive a full report from our scouts, and we will decide the best course of action.
Sean.
Yes.
What are the Yuan-Ti doing right now?
They're standing over with the prince.
Okay. They did I don't know. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, you can see Threskish sort of standing there with a bemused look on her face, on the sort of copper-scaled, human-like face of hers, and she has a bemused look as she watches the commandant leave the room. The cobalt blue serpent sort of entwined around her legs. She sort of absentmindedly sort of has her hand on its head.
I whisper to Lucius.
Can you read the snake's mind?
I have to read the spell again just to see if it's one of those.
It has to have an intelligence of 3, I think is what it said.
Target knows. Well, I'm seeing if they block it, if it's one of those, it's done. But I think, it lasts for 1 minute. It's a concentration that lasts for 1. It's probably gone by now.
It's getting really close to the end of it.
So can I gather a small thought?
No, if it succeeds, the spell ends.
Spell ends. Okay, there you go. That's what I was thinking.
So when that happened, the spell ended.
Unfortunately not. Well, I mean, yes, I can, but I don't want to waste my energy right now. But
No, that's fair.
It is a good thought, though.
Okay.
All right. The storm kind of begins to gather the scouts as the council kind of gathers around, and they begin to discuss, and looks toward again towards all of you. It says, "Rest. We will meet in the morning."
How fast are we expected to move out?
By tomorrow at dawn.
Like, do you know how fast we'll be trying to travel?
As quickly as we can. It'll be, well, as fast as we can move through the forests.
How far away is the city?
The city is probably 2 weeks travel from here. We can take it, once we make it to the rivers, we can move faster through the mountains.
The rivers, you say?
It is the fastest form of travel from the caldera to Demon's Breach.
I like it. Good plan. Good plan. Yeah, I like it.
How long's it been since you've seen water?
Since the giant alligators that almost ate Lil.
Gotcha.
We must prepare, but thank you for helping us. Whether we live or die, know that you are heroes amongst our kind.
Go see to your people. I know how strange these things get.
All right. The tabaxi begin to gather and sort of rabble out of the room, leaving the rest of you and the prince and the Yuan-Ti in the room as well. Prince Zolvernik kind of, again, has a frightened but sort of excited look on his face and says, "That is not what I expected. Well, we might all die and be flayed alive by gnolls, but at least we showed him."
Will this be your first battle, Prince?
No, we sparred
real battle?
at the...
real battle, like on the field.
Yes, all right, I do not have many opportunities to fight.
Can't you, just teleport away?
I could. I will if it gets to that point, but...
Well, take us with you.
Yes, right. please don't leave us behind.
I can do that.
He walks up to him and claps him on the shoulder and is like, "I'll keep you safe." Never thought I would say that, but I'll keep you safe.
Madam Threscus, will you be providing your aid as well?
She kind of gives a grin. You see the snake-like fangs, and she says, "Why not? I've never tasted gnoll before. Should be exciting."
I'd recommend cutting their fur off first. They tend to be riddled with things.
Good to know. The snake at her side kind of a little bit.
Leans into the prince. "I forgot how weird they were."
He kind of leans back towards you. He's like, "Super weird."
Alright, well, at least they're on our side.
Yeah.
Dude.
Until you die and then they eat your body.
I'm
do
dead.
whatever you want. Super dead.
The prince says, "We should probably prepare then. I'll see you all tomorrow unless there's any business else that we have here."
I think we're done, and I think the commandant won't be an issue. I think we all have our preparations to make.
All right. So, are you all returning to your quarters?
Probably.
Nope. Lil wants to go find the tavern and get a drink or 2 or 4.
Yeah, listen, everyone. I sort of need to talk to you guys about something, so just real quick. We can go to the tavern or whatever, just there's something I want to talk to you about. Just
Are you dying?
No.
Have you removed your arm again?
No.
Do you need help?
We were gonna get tattoos. Should we go get tattoos?
Wait.
We should all get tattoos.
Right now.
We don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. Right? That was a plan.
We were gonna do that.
Yes, start.
Before we get tattoos, spend all of what money on trade we have. Perhaps we should get the important things out of the way first.
Kind of looks at Dan.
Probably.
She's got a whole bunch of tattoos and she's important. I'm just saying.
Well, it's a good thing she has something to tell us then, because that might also be important.
It's a little important. It's also portal related.
I suggest we go find. Well, I suggest the first thing we do is go find the nicest, calmest spot around and have a few drinks.
Yeah.
The city is about to go to war. Is there such thing as a calm bar right now?
Of course not, but no one will be listening.
Perfect. Let's do this.
At that point, too, now that it's kind of calmed down, Dead and Star, because you guys have the highest passive perceptions, the two of you notice something a little bit odd. You look down at the ground and you notice that Lucius has two shadows extending in opposite directions.
I've seen this episode of Doctor Who.
Should we go? Or what are we sitting around here for?
I don't know.
Is Star looking down at the ground?
Yeah, just down, up, down again.
I just look kind of sideways at Star. I just try to make eye contact to make sure that he's seeing what I'm seeing.
Can I make any kind of check to discern why this may be?
Sure, make an Arcana check.
15.
Okay. You know that there are creatures and stuff that can do this sort of thing. They can kind of take on the appearance of shadows. You also notice as you're looking at it, you can tell something a little bit different about this and maybe puts you at ease a little bit more. I'm not sure. You notice that one of the shadows, the one behind him, has this kind of wispy nature to it, almost like smoke as you're looking at it. You've seen him use his vapor puppet before, and it sort of has that same kind of appearance. But you have to I guess you have to look at it the right way and stuff at a distance, and if you're not paying attention, it just looks like a normal shadow. And as you're looking at it, you notice as it begins to sort of pull up from the floor. And in an instant, this dark sort of mirror image to Lucius is standing directly behind him.
Lucius, can you just turn around or look down quickly or something?
Why? What does...
Just do it.
Turns around and sees the thing.
You do.
Oh!
You see the shadow staring right behind you, staring at you. It cocks its head to the side a bit, and then in an instant, it reaches forward and plunges its hand into your chest. And Lucius falls to the ground. The smoke dissipates. He's not moving.
Is he breathing?
I kneel down and I'm like, can I assess or do I? No, this is bull crap. Lil pumps all of her laying on her hands on him.
Pump the healing into him.
Yep.
No effect.
Lucius!
Not breathing. He's not breathing. His heart isn't beating. He's dead. The group of you now stand in the council chambers of the Ruby Ziggurat, and Lucius's cold, dead body lying on the ground.
I start yelling for the bishop. He's old. He can't have made it that far.
Okay. You do recall the bishop was surrounded by soldiers and with the commandant at the time that he left. So you call out to him, and you hear your voice sort of echoing back towards you. After a few moments, it doesn't seem like he's returning.
Dan, don't you have like a fancy spell that can bring us back or something?
Not right now. And even if I could, we can't afford it.
You hear a commotion outside the council chambers, and you hear a voice as the doors kind of open a bit. It's like, I'll do whatever the hell that I want, Vulture. as Bishop Elclair makes his way into the room and kind of surveys the scene and says, yes.
Something happened.
He looks down at the floor and sees Lucius and quickly tries to make his way down the steps. His cane clatters to the ground as he kneels beside Lucius's body and sort of feels at his throat. Says, he's dead. What happened?
A shadow was attached to him. It came out of the floor, put its hand in his chest, and he fell.
I can try to bring him back. We'll see. Hold on.
And he reaches to some pouch to the side and brings out a handful of gems and spreads them out over Lucius's chest. He begins to concentrate and mutter under his breath. Oh my God, it's divine. And you hear, as he speaks this, the small gems begin to sort of resonate and glow, each one flashing light. Each one of them kind of shattering and sparkling down into like drifts of powder and dust. Would anyone like to assist in this resurrection ritual? Okay. Den, I saw your hand first. What would you like to do?
Well, can I try to help the bishop since I know the ritual? Since I know the spell?
Sure.
Okay. Then I guess I'm not wearing my like vestments or anything like that, but I'll take out like from under my armor my holy symbol, which is there, and I guess kneel down with the bishop. And can I just kind of echo, because I guess he's praying, can I kind of echo his prayer to the six in Aquan and like add in my prayers to Seraphine?
Okay. Go ahead and make a wisdom check.
19.
Nice. You concentrate the prayers sort of resonating with his, the divine glow beginning to sort of shine brighter, in sort of emanate through Lucius's body. Star, what would you like to do? I saw your hand second.
I'm not really capable of doing the whole magic ritual thing. I sort of cradle his head in my hand, take out my favorite dagger, just sort of stab it into the ground next to him. I slip and no. Come on, buddy. You've been here through thick and thin. You came here for a purpose, and I know you'll see it through.
Okay. Make a charisma check.
Straight up charisma. 20 total.
Nice. You stab the dagger into the ground and just begin sort of pleading over the lifeless body of your companion, as the glow begins to sort of fade as it fully sort of immerses itself within his dead body. The ritual sort of beginning to come to a close. Lilibet, I saw your hand last.
Okay. Because everybody's kind of done sort of what I've done, and I already pumped all my laying of hands, so I'm going to try something a little different. I am going to cast Bless, because why not? And I'm going to kneel down by Lucius's chest with my hands on his chest still and say,
Lucius, on face value, people don't give you enough credit. You have a bigger heart and are probably better than anybody I've ever met. Appearances don't mean much, and I know you're meant for better things than you've had a chance to prove. So get your ass back here.
That's what I do.
Okay. I'll have you make a... I'll have you also make a charisma check.
Okay. Ooh, I don't know why I rolled that at disadvantage because it still clicked. 27.
Charisma check, not save.
Oh, shoot. Crap. Okay, let's try this again. Oh, a natural 20 for a 23.
Nice. Okay. You concentrate as well, sending that kind of pleading over the body in communion with what sort of Star is doing. And I guess for the sake of it, what is Sadel doing at this time too?
I start praying to Orisha and kind of also mumbling to myself, you know, I can fix a hand or two, but I don't know about this.
Okay. So Sadel, your prayers sort of begin to intermingle with the prayers of the others. The spell resonates and begins to fade. The bishop takes his hands back and looks down at the body, to feel at it. Puts his ear to Lucius's chest. Sits back and kind of shakes his head a bit. Lucius. As you feel the cold hand sort of plunge its way into your chest, you feel the surge through you as this presence, this dark entity that travels with you, clutches your heart, and you feel it beat its last. And as this happens, everything goes still, and you feel yourself crash to the ground. Darkness surrounds you in that moment, and you lose all sense of time or place, presence. And then you begin to hear this noise echo above all of it. It sort of starts out as a whisper, like a wind passing through a narrow corridor. As it grows, you hear not the wind, the sound of wailing. This person like, you open your eyes as you pass through this sheet of darkness in front of you. And suddenly you are miles above a landscape that stretches out in each direction as far as you can see. Darkness surrounding you. You look up, you don't see stars or the moon or any signs of light. You focus back down towards the terrain, and as your eyes begin to adjust to this darkness, you can see it glow. To one side, you see embers and flame. it stretches out in this triangular pattern out as far and farther than you can see out for an eternity beyond. Smoke and ash drift up from this landscape beneath you. This swath of land comes to a point, and you can see extending out in another direction, this darkened, shadowy landscape to which you're hearing that wailing coming from, this gasping and screeching intermixed with what sounds like hideous laughter, maniacal laughter. You turn away from that, sort of recoiling from that side. And out this final swath, all of it coming together in 3 triangular points to one central hub. You see another landscape, an expanse of bone and slate. You see skeletal remains, bodies that litter this landscape, indistinguishable almost from these jagged spires that pierce up from the rocky terrain. And as you find this perspective, you realize the sheer enormity, the immensity of the size of these bones, rib cages standing miles high, skulls cracked and fractured, larger than the most immense citadel that you walked past during your time living in Olmdoc here. You find yourself drifting downwards to the center of these 3 swaths of land, and you see at the middle what looks to be ruins or a city. You see walls and towers, abandoned, empty, but you hear noise coming from it. Sounds of steel clashing, of screeching, of wailing, of moaning. You cease, finding yourself drifting there above the city at the center. And then you feel a pull as you go sailing through the air towards the mass of bone and slate. You see underneath you the bodies of skeletons, of large undead creatures moving across this landscape towards the central hub between these 3 masses of land. As you sail across, moving between and among the broken remains of these creatures, you find yourself traveling at an incredible speed to the point where everything just becomes a blur. And then suddenly, in an instant, you stop. Darkness. And you see a dais before you. You look around and realize you're inside of what appears to be a throne room or a grand hall of some sort, broken, decrepit, as most other things in this realm seem to be. And you look up and you see the throne, a black construction of bone and flesh, and there appears to be something sitting atop it, but it's too dark to see. It almost seems to suck in any amount of light around it, but you know something's sitting there. You can feel it watching you. And then a voice speaks out. This rasping, hideous voice that seems to echo with the chorus of 1,000 dying souls.
Child of bone and dust, you draw closer to your destiny. The power I cast into the bloodline of your forefathers will find its purpose in you.
You feel yourself pulled towards this entity. You instinctually wish to call out to it, to ask it a million questions brewing within your mind. However, at that moment, you feel everything recoil around you as there's this light emanating from behind. The light glows and you see the shadows drift away. And for a brief instant, you can see the form sitting atop this throne. This humanoid form. Darkened black skin. Armor seems to be made of darkness itself. You see two glowing light pastel green eyes almost that look at you with a form of sadness. You feel yourself being pulled back, but as instantly as you found yourself stop, the creature, the entity, is directly before you. It clutches on to you. You feel the light trying to pull you back, but it holds you firm. The light then fades. You feel that pull diminish. This creature holding you from whatever it was that was trying to return you to your mortal form. The darkness ensues. The vision of this creature ends. You hear a voice speak out to you once more, knowing that this entity is still holding on to you. And it says,
"Return now. And know that my blessing rests upon you."
It releases you, and you can see the gnarled and bony black fingers of this entity sort of push forward lazily, almost without any real meaning or purpose behind it, and then rushing once again of wind, of dust, of soot. You're pulled back away, back across this landscape, over this central convergence between these three planes. And suddenly all of you see Lucius gasp and open his eyes, just
because I'm there, I give him a little hug. Kyle, you're muted, so I'm sure you're saying something really...
What? Why am I on the ground? Thank you for the hug and everything, but what just happened?
You died!
Yeah, I think I'm coming to the realization that and since Lil is literally hugging me, your deity, your goddess, is all bright and shiny and moonlight and perfection. I think I went to the other place, and I think I know why. And do I still feel the power of my Soul Stitcher abilities within me?
Mm-hmm. You feel the same as you did before. You kind of sort of try to focus on that power within you. You still feel it. And to the rest of you, Lucius looks the same as he did before. You notice that Bishop Elclair is sort of backed away and is staring very intently and worriedly at Lucius. And the rest of you see, too, that though he looks mostly the same, his eyes that were that kind of green, piercing green color before are slightly different. And if you look closely enough, those of you that are close to him, you almost see that instead of normal coloration, it's almost as though there's green smoke swirling around within his eyes themselves.
What do you mean you went to the other place?
What
the heck just happened? Some smoke guy came and took your hideout.
I have absolutely no idea what just happened, but it's a very long story, and I was not expecting that to happen when I die. I knew that I
don't think anyone expects to die.
At this point, the bishop has been quiet again, kind of sitting on the floor behind, leans in close to you, Lucius.
Yes, old man. I have two people hugging. Well, I have one person hugging me. Do you want one too?
How did you get back? My ritual failed. I felt it fail.
It let me go.
What let you go?
It's hard to describe, but I was there. I saw the light come for me. I saw it. I felt it. But this being, this thing, held on to me, grabbed me tight. And after it was done, it just let me go. It could have kept me if it wanted. And I'm not really sure how I feel about that.
You are connected to something powerful indeed if it was able to hold you back. If it has that kind of command over life and death itself.
It's been in my family for generations. But it's always just been a curse for all intents and purposes. Lil, he is holding on to you almost as tight as you are because he is afraid. It's generations. It happens every few generations, but it's just been small things. I've been the first in my family for years to have this control, and with one hand he grabs the bracelet he has and pulls that smoke off of it, and he's just like, no one else could do this and everything that I've done. It's at least not for 400 years or so, if that.
It is an ill omen indeed.
But he uses it for good. I've seen it, and I know Lucius.
The choice of where we, on how we use the powers that we've been granted is rarely dictated by those who hold them, and usually those that grant them at some point seek their proper purpose. I'm familiar with the history of your people, and
he looks over towards Prince Ulvernick, who is again kind of standing there with a look of confusion and kind of perpetually confused by the things you guys do.
I am aware of the history of the tiefling lineage, the gifts that they were granted by, well, the king of demons and the king of devils. I've never heard of anything like this.
Especially not from a low-born family like mine. You expect this from him and his siblings, not from me.
See him kind of rummage around in his pack, and you are sort of shocked for a second as you feel a splash of water on your face as he sort of takes out a bit of a little vial of holy water and sort of splashes it on you. Nothing happens, but he just watches it.
I'm kidding. I don't. It's. I was thinking the same thing, and it's good to know.
Oh, curious.
Do you happen to know anything about the lower realms, demons, devils, anything like that?
I know some. Well, we of the six must learn of the creation and the adversaries that we face among the depths in order to fight them and confront them whenever possible. I know of the sepulchre of utter gloom and the residence or the palace of King Tuneric, the archdemon. I know of the sepulchre of the eternal fire and the palace of King Arda, the ashen, and, well, the archdevil. And then, well, the most familiar with the sepulchre of bone and dust, which, of course, resides King Moarta, the hollow-eyed, the arch-phantom.
Bone and dust, you say?
Yes.
That's what he called me. Child of bone and dust. This creature seemed to just condense all darkness upon itself. Sat on this throne of dust and ash and bone. That's what he said to me, child of bone and dust. That's who brought me back. That's who allowed me to come back.
I wish I had more answers for you. But know that all of tiefling kind have origins to this realm. I've never heard of a tiefling with connections to the arch-phantom, but they can use their powers for good as well as evil.
I will continue to do so. Especially when you have little Miss Scary over here watching my back, and he just bumps foreheads with her.
Damn right, you're gonna do good!
You hear some shouting in the hall, and you can hear Commandant Vulture's voice, and says, "Bishop, now!" Bishop Belclair stands, pulling himself with his cane, and says,
I do wish to return home at some point, so I should probably go.
Go, Bishop. Thank you for your help. If we all survive this, then I will probably come back to you and we will talk. I think we have a lot to talk about.
Well, if you find yourself within Yvrandal, well, avoid the Commandant, but you may seek me out within the capital.
I will do just that. Safe journey, old man.
May the light of the Six be upon all of you.
He begins making his way up the stairs and out of the room.
As he goes, Lil just shouts back,
You as welcome, Bishop, thank you!
and I'm just holding on to Lucius.
At which point, again, the Alndukir delegation is just standing over there, and Prince Zolvernick that just has this look of shock and bewilderment across his face, says, then you were saying?
Yeah, so I think maybe you figured out how to close the bad portal. We can talk about it if you want, everyone. Just, at some point.
We should get a drink. Yeah.
Drink?
Yes.
Drink.
Multiple.
I point at Lucius on the floor. Drink?
Multiple ones, please.
All right. So you all begin making your way to the tavern. Prince Zolvernick sort of keeps an eye on you, Lucius, through the entire time, and at one point, he, as you're on your way there, he sort of comes behind you and says, we should talk about this further sometime.
Yeah, I think we should. You probably have more knowledge of the libraries at home that you might have read something.
I'll rack my brain for it.
Please do. That was, have you ever had visions before? I don't know if your magic or anything is like...
all I receive are visions. That's sort of my specialty.
Oh, well, I just... You're a stronger person than I am, because what I just saw was not anything I want to see again.
Well, from what I know of the visions that I receive and the premonitions that I get, is they're not always set in stone. There are ways of testing fate and avoiding them when necessary. I don't know about that shadow little thing of yours. That's a little scary, but...
Imagine having it when you're like 4 years old, and then it's not so scary if you've dealt with it most of your life. Now, on the other hand, after everything that just happened, it's a little...
Yeah. Which, by the way, he still has two shadows. And you all see that. The second shadow has returned to where it was before.
Lil just keeps trying to step on it, thinking that's gonna do something. Like, she's just staying around Lucius and just like stomping on it.
It looks like squiggles, though, right?
I mean, no. From a distance, unless you know what to look for, it looks like a second shadow, identical to his normal one. It's okay. Only if you're really able to investigate it or have the intellect to really know what you're looking for that you can tell the difference.
I have a really high passive perception. Intellect, not so much.
So, Will's not sure which one is the bad one, so she does jump between both of them, stomping on them.
And it's hard to tell.
So, drinks, yeah? Is that where we're going?
Yeah. So you all make your way back to the outdoor sort of common area, this drinking area at the Golden Terrace, where you guys have celebrated with the tabaxi before, and there are a number around, but you're able to get some drinks and to find a little kind of secluded, quiet area outside of or away from the fires and away from the revelry to speak.
Dad, what did you learn? I'm afraid to ask, but...
No, I mean, it's not as bad as, like, Lucy's dying, so it's fine. Alright, so, I talked to my dad. That was fun. He's still a dick. Whatever. So, yeah. There's, like, lots of stuff you guys don't know about me, and that's fine. We won't really talk about it right now. But as far as, like, portals and stuff go, that's the important stuff. So my people have this, like, order, as it were. It's this group. They're called the Glyhid, which is, like, Arquin. Don't think any of you speak it. That's fine. They're like the Guardians. There's like several of them. It's like this elite group of, you know, people who take care of things. Some of them are the city guard. Some of them are like mages. Some of them are like hunters. They're really super cool. Every Triton who has combat training is like, yeah, I want to be one of you. Super cool. But so some of them are like super elite, and they sort of specialize in portals. So I don't know if I've ever like told you guys this. It might have come up. The capital Triton city is called Selene, and at the center of it is this fun thing called a portal to the water plane that we sort of sealed a really long time ago because bad stuff was coming through it and city built up around it. Blah blah blah. History, things I didn't really pay attention to in school. And so the Glyhid protect it and make sure bad things like Krakens and Sahwagin and all of those things don't come through. So I talked to my dad, and he talked to some people that he knows, and they're gonna send some of the Glyhid to close the portal. It's great.
Wait, when?
Well, soon. I mean, it's kind of far away.
Okay.
Like a couple of weeks, probably it'll take them to get here. And
but we may not be here when they get
yeah, and that's fine. They don't really need us, to be honest.
Okay.
They're sort of really badass. And they'll just close it. It was a lot easier than I thought, actually.
Star, you cool with that?
I've been thinking it all over, and there's one thing that plays on my mind. Everything we've been told says that whatever through that portal has been protecting my people, protecting Graldar. What if closing the portal gets rid of that protection, and it's, as the princess said, the gnolls can steamroll us in an instant?
Well, to be fair, the gnolls have already taken one of your cities, so whatever's protecting you, if they are, is not doing a whole lot right now.
True.
And also, like, kidnapping kids. I mean...
That's also bad.
That's bad. But, I mean, I can call them off, but I just...
Don't call them off. They definitely need to come. Before the portal is closed, I need to go home, talk to people who I know will give me answers. I'm sure my mother knows something. I'm sure Dawn knows something at least. Anything we can get.
Yeah. Speaking of home, there's sort of a condition on the Guardians coming and closing the portal.
Yeah? What?
So, yeah, I wasn't gonna bring this up. My dad, like, knows. He's like, I don't know, like a businessman kind of thing. He knows a lot of people. He's just one of those guys you don't really know how he knows so many people, but he just knows all of them. And so he, like, used connections, I don't know, to get the Guardians to come to Graldar and deal with the portal, because normally they kind of stick to water stuff. That's kind of our thing, you know?
Dad?
Yeah.
You've never been one to beat around the bush, so what's up?
Yeah, well, you know, we don't have a lot of bushes underwater. So, yeah, so here's
Beat around the kelp, I don't know.
You have catfish, but you don't have bushes. It's just, that's weird.
It's weird, yeah. So here's the thing. The Glyhid are always, like, recruiting, and they want great fighters to, you know, protect the world and save people and fight the bad krakens and things. And, like, they wanted my dad to say, yeah, totally, one of my kids will come join you. So they were like, oh. They were after my brother. That's really the story that I'm trying to get out. So I have a lot of siblings. There's 7 of us. And they wanted my brother, who's like a couple years younger than me. But he's kind of shit. And like stuffy and likes books and being inside and... So my dad sort of told them that maybe I'd join their club if they'd come close the portal for us.
Like, you'll be a card-carrying member and spread their good word across the world, or you're sequestered and can't ever leave with us again?
No, see, that's the great thing, is that I get to be part of the group that, like, goes around and finds things to kill and stuff like that, but I have to go to Selene, which is sort of far away and underwater.
Do you have to go right now?
Do you have to go forever?
No, don't have to go forever, just for like a minute to, you know, sort of figure out what's going on and join, I guess. I don't really know how it works. No one tells me anything. But once we're done...
Just before...
yeah, okay.
Did you ask anything? Because you're really good at not asking questions.
Yeah, no, I mean...
You're the greatest. Don't
thank
zap
you.
me, please. I've already died today. I don't need to die again.
I mean, it's sort of, you know, it's part of our history and things like that. I mean, the Glyhid are like the first Triton that came through and stayed here to protect people, and we learn about that stuff in, you know, class and books and everything that I totally pay attention to. Like, it's not,
a really
you know,
big honor.
Yeah. It's, yeah.
Okay, so why are we talking about it? When do we go?
Do you not want to do this?
Well, I didn't think I was gonna. But I really do, but...
Can we come?
Yeah, I just didn't think you'd want to.
What?
I mean, to see the capital city of the Triton underwater. I don't know how I'll do underwater because no gills, but I'll try it at least.
I'm not a catfish, but I'm sure it'll be fun to visit.
But you could be a fishy cat!
I mean, I have some
Are there
thoughts.
giant gorillas underneath the water where you are?
No.
Well, I mean, there's no giant gorillas in this fucking forest anyway, so who cares?
I'm sure I'll be able to point one out to you while we're on our way towards the city of broken glass.
Dan? Why do you think we wouldn't come? You're one of us. You've proved that time and time again.
You took an arm for us, you killed many things, you helped give one of us an arm. Can't really leave you after all of that, can we?
Besides, I mean, you could probably get better tattoos there than anywhere else.
Yeah. So I was thinking, if you want to go, I mean, that's sort of cool. I don't really want to go by myself. All the, like fancy people and capital city things. I don't really know what to do with them.
Well, you are in luck, because I also happen to know nothing about how to be with fancy people. But I'm pretty sure we could learn. And he just slowly, just like, almost like office style, turns to the prince.
And yet, Prince Zinstor, I mean... So I spoke to my sister...
Oh, really?
Ephraim, yeah, and just sort of mentioned that you'd read whatever the thing was that she wrote. I mean, she'd love to meet you.
Oh, I'm sure that we could discuss a great deal about our knowledge of cultures, and I'm sure that would help further diplomatic ties between our people. So sure, that sounds good.
All right, yeah. So one more sort of thing. I mean, not just you, Prince, but just everyone in general. So, how do I say this? So I was thinking, right, we'll have to take a ship, as it were. And I know some people with ships, and I was thinking maybe we could make a pit stop off at this port where my home temple is. But the city's kind of like not... what's the word? I guess reputable. As it were.
Prince
Sounds like my kind of place.
Prince Olvenor says, once this is all over, assuming I live, if it's, I've done a fair bit of traveling. If it's a port that I've been to, I can perhaps take you there.
I don't think you've been there.
All right, but fair enough.
All right, listen.
Is the UNT still with us?
No, the UNT did not join in on this conversation.
Didn't come to the bar with us?
No.
Oh, the snake people didn't come bar hopping with us?
Oh,
Damn.
No.
All right.
They weren't a part of that snake oil with us.
Gather that you would know, Lucius. That's not really what the UNT enjoy doing for fun.
All right, listen. Let's just get some stuff out on the table here. All right. Is Port Onrix? Anyone ever been there? Anyone know what I'm talking about?
You've been to Port Onrix.
Sean, what I've gone through when I tried to get to Yvrandal?
No, you haven't.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm guessing no one else does.
But the prince sort of lurches across the table and he says, Port Onrix, you've been there.
I lived there for like a while.
All right.
May not have built a temple there and things like that.
I don't tell my father about this, and don't tell him about this either. But I am a huge... I read stories about pirates all the time, and Port Onrix is one of the places that I have always wanted to go to.
Alright, let's have a discussion right now, just real quick, like for 2 minutes, because this has been eating at me for so long. So I told you guys I was a sailor and all that, right? We've talked about it. I know things about ships. I know things about water. It's great. So the ships that I sailed on were not like nice people's ships. There may or may not have been some piracy involved with literally all of the sailing that I did.
Well, they can't all be bad, because I recognize your
Mark tattoo. I can't remember which one it is.
Tattoo.
So they helped me get from Bolivar to where I met Sidel. So they're not all bad.
No, they're not bad people. It's just... Can I just show them the tattoo?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
And she pulls up the tattoo, and you see this beautiful tattoo of this like swirling like typhoon or twister almost, contorted and sort of bending from side to side, comes to a point. It's like the middle of her arm. You recognize this, Lo, because you've sailed, or you've been on this the ship with these crews before, or with crew members that had the same tattoo. You recognize them as the Fury pirates, and Prince Zolvernick also like sees it, looks up at you, looks down at the tattoo, looks up at you, says, "You're one of the Fury pirates."
Yeah. She's one of the best.
Have you met Captain Windwalker?
So, fun story. Yes. I sailed on the flagship. It's called the Eye of the Storm. It's really cool.
You sailed on the Eye of the Storm.
Yeah, I sort of maybe like saved the captain's life at one point. It's fine, I know things about healing, it's not a big deal. Really.
Is it true that she killed 100 men in single combat?
Yeah.
He like sits back in his chair and like takes his drink and like chugs it.
Can I come with you? Please, can I come with you? I will pay any amount that you wish.
Yeah.
All right.
He kind of says himself from of course, after we deal all of this business here, we have much to take care of. He sort of looks around awkwardly. You can see his face sort of blushing a bit, realizing how hard he was fanboying.
It's a good cover. You did a good job.
Yeah, then I feel like sometimes we don't give your ideas or actions enough due credit, but I want to make sure, like, we got to deal with these Knoll problems first, right? And then we go home, or then we go to your city, right? Or do we need to do that first?
No, like they're just waiting for me, you know.
Okay.
Whenever we get there. I mean, yeah, we deal with this first. I wanted to bring it up because, I mean, we're all friends and we've sort of been through a lot in the past couple of months. But, like, asking people to go with you to, like, on a pirate ship to a pirate city and then to, like, a city underwater to join this weird club thing. I don't know.
Then, when I first got to Yvrandal, I made a living by breaking and entering for, as you would probably say, more unsavory people.
Did they happen to call you a cat burglar? Please tell me they called you a cat burglar.
You would not believe.
I love it.
But anyway, I'm used to unsavory people and how they get by. If we have to stop at a port with a few pirates, they can live with that.
See, that's why I wanted to ask, because it's like, it's not really a few pirates.
It's all pirates, isn't it?
It's all pirates. Like, it's just a big city of, like, all pirates.
You're
But,
literally talking to a traitor to his people. I'm perfect. I'm perfectly okay with going to Pirate City.
The prince sort of looks over towards Thorsby and says, "Have you really not heard of Port Onyx? It's the only neutral ground between the Tribunal of Six. It's the only place where you can meet members of all 6 pirate crews in one location without them trying to kill each other. I mean, this..."
He just reaches over and just puts a hand over his mouth. No. Prince. Excuse me. You're a prince of the people. You are the next, maybe next in line. Please act like it for just 5 minutes.
Let him. Do you know what? No, I'm gonna disagree with what's happening right now, because I'm gonna be honest, this is not how I thought this conversation was gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
And the last time I told someone was a pirate, they tried to kill me.
Oh, well, continue. What about, who is this Tribunal of 6 and what do they do?
The Tribunal of 6, the pirate, the Pirate Alliance of Roran that disbanded 25 years ago now, or something like that. The exact dates aren't exact given the lack of information that's come out of there, but they disbanded, have been at war ever since, each one of them taking a different sea of the world as their own territory. And Port Onyx has said this.
Yeah, neutral ground. There's lots of pirates, like countries worth of pirates. I can't believe none of you guys have ever heard of this.
And there's the Broken Pirates. Captain Breaker is the strongest pirate of the world. From the stories, he does have a bit of a temper. There's the Fury Pirates with Captain Windwalker, who, is it true she can fly?
She can levitate.
That's close enough. That's still...
Yeah. So there are...
Den, if we asked you to put yourself in harm's way, for any reason, just, hey, come back to my hometown that's being taken over by, well, Lucius and the princess people, and it's so great and wonderful and everybody's dying, would you think even 1 second about it?
No.
You'd just go with us, right? Well, I'm here to tell you, well, I guess I can't speak for anybody else, but all you gotta do is ask, and not worry. We're gonna come with you. You're good people. Screw everybody else. You're good people.
Okay, everybody. Can we sail on a pirate ship and then go to the capital city so I can join an awesome group of fighting people?
Arr!
I'm not doing that, but yes.
No one does that. It's not a thing.
I do that!
You're muted, Alex.
You're muted.
Damn it. Okay, here's a good one for you all. What's a pirate's favorite letter of the alphabet?
Please
Arr!
They did it.
You may think it is, but his true love be the sea.
Well, it's time for me to go, everybody. We have
one more question.
To fight.
Is it true that Captain Thunderfist can lift Kettle's ghost with one hand?
Yeah.
How many of the captains have you met?
A few.
Is it true that Captain Sinbad has more magical artifacts than any living man?
Sinbad has a lot of shiny stuff. Probably.
But Captain Gold is richer. Is his ship actually made of solid gold?
It's more like plated.
Oh,
Well,
that's disappointing.
It would sink. So, I mean, he's got other stuff that's made of gold, but...
All right. You can tell this sort of like diminished him a bit finding that. He says, that's fine. That makes more sense. I still would like to see the diamond in person.
Well, Windwalker is what you're going to get, so...
That would be an honor in and of itself. Sorry. I'll stop.
And who knows? I mean, you go back to your people, they ask what you do, that's a good story to tell people. Oh yes, I'm Prince, I've been to Groudar, I've helped people, I've sailed on this magnificent pirate ship, you just wouldn't understand.
Did you just say you dude instead of you did?
I'm a little drunk, shut up. I literally went to hell, okay?
Common is not everyone's first language, Lil.
It's not mine either, but
no, it's not
you
mine.
Dude.
Yeah, so... And then there's also, like, the slight possibility that I might need to go home to my home city and probably tell my mum that I'm still alive. But that's,
We'll deal with that when it comes to it.
Yeah, families are easy.
We'll burn that bridge when we get to it. Done.
Yeah.
Families love me. I'll be your cover.
My family will love you.
I just imagine, actually, through all of this, I just imagine Barb in the background. Bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, she has sort of just been playing her lute in the back the entire time.
I'm sure she was doing that during the council as well.
The entire time.
All the music you're hearing right now, it's Barb.
It's Barb, yeah. So as the conversation sort of begins to die, the rest of you, I guess, eventually kind of, unless there's anything else that needs to be discussed, you eventually make your way back to your respective quarters to rest for the evening.
The last thing I was going to do is, before doing important things I need to do, is fill everyone in on the City of Broken Glass, what it is, where it is, what it means to the Tabaxi, etc., etc.
Yeah. You can fill them in on it.
I don't know where my notes on that are, I'm afraid.
It's all right. I don't know if I give you, but you would know that it's essentially it's a long abandoned city, much like many of the other ones, the ruins across Groudar. It's sort of been taken, or the Screeching Wind clan use it as sort of a base of operations, as sort of a fort almost. They're the ones that fight against or keep the Knoll war tribes at bay, to keep them from pushing into Western Groudar. I mean, essentially, it's a long, sort of, like I said, abandoned city at the edge of Tabaxi territory. Not really much else to it other than that, but it is sort of the stronghold that stands against the Knoll incursion.
Star?
Yeah?
So is, like, City of the Thousand Steps the only, like, city that's actually inhabited? Are the rest ruined?
That's a harder one to answer. There aren't really any other current Tabaxi cities, or weren't any other kind of. The only other cities I can think of are the City of Glass itself and the City of the Crawling Mist, which we went to. Other than 10,000 Steps, we saw just small towns and villages spread along the jungles.
Okay, then, like, I'm just trying to understand. Did the Tabaxi, like, populate a city and then use up the natural resources and then go to another place? Or, like, it seems weird that there's only one city and the rest are in ruins. I
don't know the story behind that. Given what we've learned, I'd assume that perhaps the City of Crawling Mist is the city that whoever lived here before used. The City of Broken Glass I've heard referred to as the first Tabaxi city, but aside from that, I don't really know.
Okay. Anybody else find this weird, or am I just way too inquisitive?
I mean, yeah, it's kind of weird that, they have one city, but the city is huge, and there's a lot of them in it, so... Different cultures.
If anyone needs anything from a vendor, I'm about to go into the jungle to try get some things for barter quickly. If anyone wants anything, let me know so I can stock up.
I think I'm good.
Dan, did you want to find a tattoo place before we go to sleep? Yeah. I'm going with you.
Okay.
I'll do the same.
All right. So Star heads off into the jungle to find some materials to barter the following day. The rest of you head off to look for a tattoo shop. You guys, the Den's posse, you all make your way into the city and kind of go wandering around until you find like a small little shack at the edge of a cluster of houses, and there's this old kind of hunched over tabaxi with a very like flat face. I think like a Persian cat, but like very long white hair, very old, and the old lady sort of kind of sees you enter, one bad eye. Yes.
You do tattoos?
I do markings.
We would like some.
All right. Well, tell me what you want.
So I'll just show her, I guess, written on a sheet of parchment or something, just exactly what I had before, which on my shield arm is like the Aquan word for protect, and then the hash marks, the 9 hash marks on the back of my hand.
Okay. She takes it all in and she goes,
all right then, I can do that. Just sit down over there, lovey.
And she goes back, kind of begins gathering her materials, begins mixing the ink and taking out this metal, almost looks like a small little like rake with a bunch of with like 4 needles at the end of it. She takes that and dips in the ink and begins to go out the process. And you've had tattoos done in a variety of places, and you've had different quality of tattoo artists, some that were not so good, others that were better. There's like no pain, like expertly, just deep enough to make the markings, to make the lines beautifully the way that you want it to. She shakes almost the entire time. You're expecting her to just massacre your arm, but she does a beautiful job, and there is like little to no pain from the entire process, which takes probably about 2 hours or so.
This is not the sketchiest tattoo place Den's ever been to, let's be real.
No, it's not. And it's very, like, the appearances were deceiving, and you weren't even sure if she could even see at first. But she does a beautiful job. And you're able to barter enough with the little knickknacks and things that you guys have collected. It's just required too much
I have
pay.
Lots of incense.
Yeah, sure.
If she's into that.
She will. She'll take some incense from that, and at the end of it, the markings are done. She'll like dabs a little bit of the excess ink off, and she hands you a small jar of ointments to you, and she says,
"And make sure you apply this afterwards, otherwise you'll be back here. Anything else?"
I think my friends want one done too.
Oh, all right. You sit down too, small child.
Yeah, okay. So I'm really excited. This is my first one, and I think what I want is, so do you know what wine grapes are?
No.
So I pull out a bottle of one of the family bottles that I have. I think I've got Otto's and I've got Vera's wine left in my bag. And the logo is a bushel of wine grapes on it. And I show it to her. I'm like, it's this.
She takes it and holds it really close to her face and looks over.
All right.
Okay, I want that. And then
I pull out my holy symbol and I'm like,
and I want this moon shining its radiance on those grape leaves. Or on the grape bushel of grapes. That's what I want.
Okay. It's getting rather late. Might take a while.
Okay!
Lil's a little drunk.
Okay.
And she goes back and begins gathering her materials and some other inks as well. Den, do you plan on sleeping tonight?
Yeah.
Go, I'm fine. I'm good.
I'll bail.
Okay. Anybody? Was anybody else with Lucius? Were you with them too? What are you gonna stick with her, or what are you gonna do? You muted. You did.
Muted.
I forgot that you had to be on Zoom to unmute it. Yeah, like from everything that he just saw and went through with the demon-y thing, he's probably not gonna want to sleep that
Acceptable.
much.
Okay.
So, yeah, he'll stay.
So she begins the process of tattooing a little bit as well. Star, you go out into the jungle to search for some bartering materials. I'm just going to make a survival check.
Fair enough. Uh, 20 total again.
Nice. You head out into the jungle, spending a few hours searching through. You gather a couple of things. You're able to hunt successfully a few kind of small, like rabbit-like creatures that you imagine are fairly commonly used for food and would be edible within the city, could be traded there as well. You also are able to dig up and find a semi-rare plant, herb that grows just on the outskirts of the city. You wouldn't expect to find it normally. It's picked pretty clean, and it's kind of hard to come by. Most of the scavengers and hunters in the area, or gatherers in the area, come out to look for it on a fairly regular basis. But you're able to find one stalk of it, and you dig it up, and you're able to gather as many of the roots that you need. Sort of like a ginger, almost. It's used for food and cooking, and it's quite common or quite popular within the city. But you're able to find some of that as well, which all in all, with the amount of barter that you've got, you feel like you could probably get a fair amount for what you've got, for what you found.
Cool. When I'm done, I am heading back into the city to once again try and get some studded leather armor.
Okay.
Part of the trade also includes my current armor because I won't need that anymore.
Okay. Yeah, I'd say with what you've got, you could trade for some studded leather armor and upgrade from there.
Yay!
But one by one, you guys all sort of gather yourselves. Lil, you spend most of the night getting tattooed. You actually probably nod off for a little bit of it, wake up having the tattoo completed. As the sun begins to rise over the city, the rest of you having already returned and had a full night's rest within the confines of the ziggurat.
Can I get up early this morning?
You can.
All right. I want to get up before everybody, and I want to sneak over into Den's room and wake her up.
Okay. Den, you hear kind of a knocking at the door, very light knocking at the door, which stirs you from your sleep. Estelle kind of has the door partially open.
What's happening?
Den, shh. You remember the conversation we had, that if I ever needed your help putting something together, well, just come here. And I want to take her outside to an open area, and just start pulling all of the chunks of metal that I've been working on with all the gears, and like I just want to start putting this thing together finally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I help.
Okay. He pulls out probably like 35 to 45 different pieces of gears and equipment and just spreads it out in kind of a mismatched shape on the ground. And Saddle, I guess you start explaining to her where the different pieces go and how to fasten them together. Okay.
So what exactly are you trying to build? Do you have a picture?
Once we start putting it together, you'll know.
All right.
Okay. There are a few times where she starts to put something on and you have to correct her because it's upside down, and you're like, no, this part goes on the front, this part goes on the back.
But I'm very strong.
You guys spend the next few hours working on this as the sun begins to rise. The Tabaxi beginning to come out from their homes, and some of them gathering around, seeing you building this and watching with amazement as you begin to construct this thing in the middle of this square.
About when do I start realizing what we're building?
Make an intelligence check.
He is a cruel god.
And you live with him.
3.
Not until after it's done, and Sadal has to point out like which side's the head and which side's the end.
Oh, I see it.
And it's not something. It's something that you've never seen in person. You've seen images of it in books. You know that it's one of the. It's a creature that that your people had a little bit of a difficult time with when they first came to. And the rest of you, as you begin to wake and stir in the mornings, and Lil, as you're kind of sleepy-eyed, you begin to wander your way through the streets, making your way home to the ziggurat. The rest of you that are rising or rousing within the confines of your rooms are hearing a bit of commotion outside, and you begin to sort of make your way out to the front, wondering what's happening out there. And it's there as you enter this terrace that you see. I'll let Dylan describe it.
I just clap him on the back, so proud of him.
You walk out and there's this large, basically robotic plesiosaurus.
Yeah.
Got gears whirring and is very much alive, even though it's made out of metal.
Yeah.
We have a dinosaur!
As you enter the terrace, you see this creature before Saddle and Den, little gears whirring and kind of a round central body resting on the ground, 4 fins one extending out to each side, sort of holding it aloft slightly. The mechanical pieces and gears and hinges creaking slightly as they rest into place. There's a long head which stretches up kind of in an S curve, comes to the top of a mechanical skull with a series of jagged like knives almost serving as teeth. There are 2 gems sort of rested in the eye sockets, each one glowing slightly as the head rears and looks around and then looks down towards Saddle and sort of lowers itself towards you, Saddle.
I pat its head, and I want to climb up on its back. Because there are people surrounding and watching this, so I kind of basically announce, mostly to my companions, but well, I've been working on this guy for quite a while now, and figured he'd come in handy sooner or later. And I figured protecting these people would be the best use I could get out of them, so let's hope this works.
That is incredibly impressive.
Saddle,
Oh my god!
what's his name?
Well, I haven't come up with one yet. I was hoping you guys could help me with that.
But it's a him? Or is it a her? Or is it an it?
And it.
Her.
I think it's a he, but I don't know.
Well, you built it, so you know better than the rest of us.
Well, I didn't
just
build it anatomically correct.
I helped.
It's like
Star
shake and
is
bake.
just completely fascinated with every facet and inch of this thing and is examining it all over. And
Lil's just doing circles around it.
And sort of
like this is the coolest thing.
at that point, it kind of makes a noise, kind of calls out of it with this mechanical sort of roar to it. It's like,
Oh my god, this is so awesome!
If you take this anywhere near the Triton, they're just gonna flip.
In a good way or a bad way?
I don't know, that's the fun part.
So here's the better question. How do we get that from here to there?
I pat it. I give it a pat on its back, and its fins sort of retract into its body, and 4 legs come out, and so it stands up straight.
this is the best thing you've ever made. Maybe.
How long were? Where did you hide? Okay, so
Bag of holding.
I don't care where we go, who we're with, what we do. You're coming with us everywhere, because that is insanity.
Thank you.
Sandal, your wife told me to be watchful of the tricks that you hide. And oh my god! She was so right!
Oh yeah, she knows that I like to surprise people I like.
I cannot wait to write her a letter, because this is the coolest!
Oh yeah, we'll have to catch her up on all the plans we have. She wasn't expecting me to go to the home of the Triton.
No offense.
Only if you want to, Sado.
Well, of course I want to.
Hey!
I mean, look at this guy.
Yeah, first of all, whoa. Second of all, I had a thought.
That explains why your hair is all frizzy.
Right, it doesn't happen very often. I did have one thought. You like guns?
I do like guns.
Right. I know a pirate who makes guns.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was it. That was my whole thought.
Is
It's a good thought.
I'm gonna call him Jiminy, cause why not? This guy looks like just a firecracker of awesome. So, is Jiminy coming with us to the City of Glass, or is Jiminy gonna stay here in the City of Thousand Steps?
Jiminy's coming with us.
Sorry, Alex.
Wait, so we have Jiminy, who is the construct, and we have, what was the vapor puppet's name?
Squiggles.
Squiggles!
We are
Survivor's Complex,
100%
everybody.
winning at naming things.
Yes, we
Wait,
are.
wait, what did I name my steed? I can't even remember now because that was like months ago.
I don't think you gave it a name. You
No,
just
I
said
did.
it was
I did. It's
I know
there.
she did. I just don't remember.
I have to go look at the spell. Hold on.
All right.
Hold on.
Continue.
I turn to the plesiosaurus that I've made, and I put my hand, I pat him on the head again, and how does Jiminy sound?
The creature turns his head towards you, and it gives this kind of shrill cry. It sounds a little bit. It's like it's pleading. Like, please don't.
Okay, we'll keep trying, buddy.
And my mastiff's name is Gully. Okay, guys? We name stuff good, or I name stuff awfully. One of the two.
Don't worry, I haven't had to name anything yet. That we're not even going to cross into that hell.
As you guys are all gathered out here, though, and causing quite a bit of commotion, you see a couple dozen tabaxi, all of them with dark charcoal, almost black fur, and red markings, wearing leather armors and carrying blades and spears, make their way through the crowd. At the forefront, you see Storm pushing his way forward, also wearing armor, no longer wearing the robes of the council, seems to be dressed in his war regalia, looks up at the mechanical creature in front of it, looks down towards all of you. I asked if you'd be ready to go today. I didn't know how ready you would be.
We're ready.
All right, we're heading out now. We have to move swiftly through the jungle. As soon as we reach the rivers, we'll take the boats to the rest of the way to the gullet of the mountains.
I'm guessing the prince and Thruska are nearby.
The prince, you see, has just sort of crested outside of you actually see him standing with your passive perception, standing up near the top of the steps at the ziggurat, just kind of bemused by this scene. Begins making his way down as he sees the tabaxi gathering in this area. He approaches and says, did you make this?
I did, and Dan helped me put it together.
This is something. This is better than anything I've seen our war architects make.
Well, thank you. I put a lot of work into it.
Have you ever, if you're ever looking for a job, I'm sure that we can find something for you. You have some skill.
Thank you. I actually already own my own shop back at South Harbor, but I appreciate the offer.
Oh, well, I'm sure that maybe when all this business is over, we might be able to discuss.
Of course.
Well, should we go then?
Let's go.
Let's do this.
All right. The prince clasps his hand together, and you see the rest of the tabaxi beginning to gather themselves, some mounting up on horseback, others getting ready to move through the jungle on foot. And you all begin making your way down the steps, down the streets. The plesiosaurus, Jim, having a hard time making his way through the city, moving a little bit slower on foot, but trying his best to keep up. The rest of you following behind, making your way out of the city, heading to the west through the jungles, towards the mountain that lead out of the World Child's Cradle, and towards the ruins of the City of Glass and Demon's Breach. And that's where we'll go ahead and end our session here today. Yeah, no. I wanted to go, I'd go for another 2 hours, but at some point we have to end. So
that's what she said.
I will kick you off this call. But thank you, everyone, for tuning in and bearing through our technical difficulties with Twitch at the beginning of all this. We are excited to be back. And as far as the immediate future holds, we don't really have any conflicts. I think we'll be here next Saturday and the Saturdays after that for forever. Forever and ever. But yeah, I don't really have anything else, Savannah. Have our normal spiel?
I mean, nothing exciting. But yeah, all of our music is the main thing today. So if you had fun listening to our ambient music and fun things like that, all of our music comes from Incomptech, all royalty free. Awesome music you can get in all different kinds of genres and everything like that. So if you're looking for music for your own game or stream or anything like that, check out Incomptech. It's awesome. There's a ton of stuff on there, and we love it. If you like our character art, which we have on our overlay here, our friend and wonderful artist Julie made all of those for us. So if you're interested in getting some character art done, or you want to know more about her art and things like that, you can contact any of us or Survivors Complex or UPick Gaming on Twitter, and we can put you in contact with our artist. If you like our overlay, which we have all of our overlays and fun different screens and things like that, Sarah made those for us, our fun player Sarah over there. So contact her on Twitter if you're wanting an awesome overlay for your stream or game or things like that.
Yep.
And yeah, we've got all our links at the bottom. You've found our Twitch channel, which is great. So follow us here on Twitch. You can also, fun new thing that's just come up in the past couple of weeks, subscribe to us on Twitch. So if you're looking for somewhere to put your Twitch subscription, please consider giving it to us so we can bring you more awesome, fun D&D and other gaming content every week. Follow us on Twitter. We have at UPick Gaming, and also Survivors Complex has our own Twitter. It's at Survivor Complex without the S. And also subscribe on YouTube, where you can watch all of our videos if you're just tuning into our stream now for sessions you may have missed. Thanks for hanging out, everybody, and thanks for sticking with us through all of our technical difficulties earlier and things like that. We appreciate it.
Just want to say, if they subscribe on Twitch, if they use that Prime subscription or whatever, they get a custom emote right now.
Custom
and more
Twitch
to come.
emotes.
Yeah. Sorry.
So, yeah.
One more exciting thing.
If you're looking for somewhere to put that Twitch subscription that we know you desperately want to give to someone you love, you get a custom emote and more fun things to come in the future.
Yeah.
So,
sorry. Just trying to make the sell.
All right. With nothing else, I guess that'll be it for us tonight. Come back next week and see how this sort of finale to the whole Growldar arc is shaping up, and we'll see you then. But
we're all gonna die.
You already did, so whatever.
I already did, so I mean,
yeah,
whatever, right?
Yeah. But until then, good night, Internet.
Good night,
Internet.